Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain Shaq here, and welcome back to X4. It's been a long time. Oh, there's a bit of a freeze up as stuff loads in. It's been a long time since we've covered this game. I played it on release, we streamed it quite a bit over on Twitch, but we never really went back to it once we got to the point where we were commanding fleets, right? The controls just weren't very good back then, and I knew there was a bunch of expansions coming out, which we actually have one right around the corner. Now, today, if you didn't notice, but as I walked past it, we're gonna be talking about a new mod that I have mentioned in the past. We've talked about it over on Twitch a little bit, and that is the Star Wars mod. Now, one of my favorite mods for the X series in general, particularly X3 Albion Prelude, is the Star Wars mod. It has been started by the original mod author Mick, and then eventually was picked up by another group of modders to port it over to LitCubes. That's what we've been playing, is the LitCube edition of X3. This is X4, and this is what Mick has been doing since he moved over to this game. And it's super exciting. We have an A-Wing in here. Now, if you've never played X4, or and you've only played the older games, you can actually walk around inside your ships and inside stations in this title in the franchise. Now, let me go ahead and run up here. We're gonna get into our X-Wing. Now this is point one, this isn't a public release. He sent me over this file to say, hey, here's where I'm at so far. And I told him I'd do a video on it. It's super, super exciting. But we're gonna jump in. If I can just get in here. I can look around a little bit, look at the cockpit. Now, you can actually see little bits of like that right there. He's had to do a little bit of what I think looks like splicing. Let's go ahead and get the ship undocked here. To introduce the cockpits of Star Wars ships with the base game for X4. Click on our engines. I'll even go third person so we can see a little bit of what's going on with the ship. I mean, the model is beautiful. I'm pretty sure this is the exact same model that he's using for X3. So he's just kind of porting over his collection of ships and vessels. And he's got a huge collection that he's been working on for quite some time for X3 Albion Prelude. But, oh man, this thing is really maneuverable. So I'm gonna go through, I'm gonna load up all the different starts that he's got that he sent over to me with the new ships. He's got, at the moment, A-Wings, TIE Fighters, TIE Interceptor is in. We're not gonna land, we're just gonna fly over. TIE Interceptor, what else do we have? I think he's got the Action 4 transport, which I think is the only freighter that's currently in. No, that's not true, because there is the Rebel transport as well, the GR-75, the hero ship of the Rebellion. Can't say that with a straight face. Oh, man. But there we go into travel mode so we can cruise around a little bit. Now, I'm real sad to say that he even has the weapons, and the weapon sounds put in too, by the way. Yeah, it's good. It's real good. Drop out of here.
Docking aborted.
Oh man, it's nice graphical update. I actually like the dogfighting quite a bit better in this than I do X3, especially with the subsystem targeting, makes it a lot better. And the scale feels good. And the one thing that I have a problem with X4 is the detail and the design, the design of the ships themselves.
Sonra.
For the most part, there are a few ships that I actually do like the look of. Let's see if I can get it. But for the most part, they all look the same. There's like two different versions of this vessel. It's a little bit more stretched out. This is supposed to be Argon. Anybody remember the X3 Argon ships? And one of the things that's gonna fix this is having a huge collection of Star Wars vessels implemented in this. So, all right, let me go ahead and load up the other ones, but here is the A-Wing. You can build these from the Argon shipyard once this comes out. If I can just get the camera to, there we go. Argon shipyard. I'm sad to say, my main save, where I've got, millions of credits on it, and I was gonna build a big fleet of TIE Fighters, I can't use. There's something wrong with it. I know they implemented shipyards needing supplies to build ships, and in one of those implementations, I think it broke it because they will not build anything even though they have the supplies. So I'm gonna have to start a new save, but I won't start a Let's Play this up until we get, farther into the development, until he gets a release candidate, I think. Then I'll probably start playing when you guys can play, but I'll keep up with the updates. But let me go ahead and load up some of the other saves. We can see some of the other ships. Pew pew! Oh, yeah, this game's load time some days. All right, we're back, and we're back with Imperial Tie Fighter. I actually haven't loaded this one up yet. Interesting. The first thing that I loaded, I hit Shift and W, so I ended up jumping up here. Let me jump back down. Actually, no, we just want to, how do I leave? How do I get at it? Oh, there's a gigantic ladder. Whee! So if we back off a little bit, you can actually see how he's set up some of these now. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I guess there's a certain size for the cockpits and certain ways that he's had to make this work and kind of jive with how the cockpits are used, because the cockpits need to be reused in a lot of ships in X4. But interesting, you get kind of a sense of scale since we can actually walk around a TIE fighter. I'm hoping he has the ion engine sound effect, that scream, and you can have your custom decals on there. These are just the default ones since I've had to load up some new saves to do this. But let's go ahead and get inside. Let's go ahead and launch up. I can just go straight up the ladder. And inside, not exactly lore friendly, but you know what, whatever it takes to make it work. That's a transporter, by the way, if you need to transport somewhere else onto your ship. Can you imagine launching this, by the way, in game? If you've ever seen X4 or any of my gameplay of it, some of the ships they actually have like deployable hangars that like drop down and pick up ships and bring them up for you to jump in and launch, or the AI can launch them. You can hire pilots, you can do so much stuff in this. As a Star Wars mod, it's gonna be amazing. All right, let's go ahead and undock. Oh my God. Default controls, if you're using keyboard and mouse, are so weird. Oh, listen to that. Yeah. And is it changing based on? It is, by my acceleration. So if you boost, yeah, it gets way higher pitched. All right, we can go. Yes. Oh, I love it. Now, I wonder how he's gonna handle upgrades, because in this, unlike the past titles, you can actually upgrade stuff like engines, you can upgrade your shield generator, and these are actual physical objects that you can see on the ship itself. Let's see if we can get like... Oh, there's a known criminal identified. Tell me more! I want to shoot a known criminal with my TIE fighter, and bring peace and prosperity to the galaxy.
Mass transporter.
There you are. Oh, the controls are so weird in default. I'm used to the either controller or using the HOTAS system, because you have to hold down left click to actually take direct mouse control. Don't worry, boys. I'm here to help. Get wrecked. It was a thief. So there you go. TIE Fighter is in. TIE Interceptor as well. I think what we're gonna do is let's go ahead and set a course and go find... Oh man, this is so freaking cool. I can rotate. I don't crash into anything. I'm still like manually controlling this and swapping around the camera, but imagine having a wing of these. Oh, I think they're getting mad at me because I accidentally shot the station. Sorry, my bad. It does have this weird like chink noise, like it's reloading every time it fires. All right, let's see if we can get through here. So fast! So fast! See, the problem with this is I don't have enough explored. Like, we could set a course this direction, but I don't have enough explored to actually have a place to let go for us. Oh, you can kind of see the ions glowing when you kick on the hitting tab. Now, do I have a shield on this? I do have a shield. I burned most of the energy, though, by hitting tab. It's actually how you get that extra boost of speed. And then you gotta let it sit there and recharge a bit. But I guess if you wanted to be more canon, you could build a bunch of TIE fighters cheap by not giving them shield generators, just giving them engines and some firepower. But that probably puts you at an amazing disadvantage, which I guess is lore friendly. All right, let's load up a few of the other ones. Now, I was wrong. There's one other ship that I actually forgot about, and that is, look at the traffic. Coming through. Did I just hit him? I'm pushing him around. She didn't know you could do that. There is the Gazanti freighter is actually in as well, as is the fire spray, which you have to go and you have to buy those. I don't think those are starts, but we'll see. All right, loading up the next one. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh, hell yeah. So, the fire spray, yep, there's a freeze up. Does it every time I load in. So there's the fire spray. Patrol cruiser, more like patrol corvette, patrol ship. Gunboat, there we go. I guess if you hit, it's like shift. Oh, it's shift D. Oh, that's so frustrating. Let me jump back down here. Every like portion of my gamer being wants to do shift to run around, to sprint, but shift D teleports you back into your ship. So you can imagine how that's kind of broken. Looks like this ship isn't completely ready for prime time yet. I seem to be stuck on the inside of it, so we're not quite there with those. Go ahead and get into this one. Do not jump down when leaving the ship. Can I just teleport? Looks like the teleport's not quite there either, but all right, we're gonna get inside. So this is the fire spray. It's not 100% yet. You can't actually get in and out from the back. It has a port, but you kind of get stuck in the model. I think this is one of those, it's like, it's currently in the works, but I couldn't say no to jumping into Boba Fett's ship and taking it for a joyride. So let's go ahead and undock and take a look at what we've got here. There she is. I gotta turn it around so we can see a bit better. Engines on. Yeah, it doesn't even have, like, it's using some of the actual normal in-game engines, which means they don't really fit, and the camera kind of seems to stick to the bottom of it for some reason, but very cool. Like, those are traditional engines from X4. But the model's looking pretty good. This is definitely the same model from... Oh, holy crap. Get wrecked. Like, how freaking cool is that? If you want to do a little bounty hunting, or if you want to get a couple of patrol ships to take out any of the Xenon that are coming into your territory. Pretty legit. I like it. I'm actually out of power. I can turn on travel mode. That should give us a bit more speed. At least in a straight line. And then, of course, because this is the game that it is, we can, once I remember what the buttons are, 'cause it's been a little while, I can actually get out of my chair as we're flying around. I can look out the windows. I can see the wings back there. This is the interior that I think still needs a lot of work. Like, there's still some, there's invisible interior, because why would you have a texture on the side that the player will never see in X3? Albion Prelude, all the bridges have to be modeled, or at least clipped and attached from other ships that are based in here. So, still, very cool. Happy to see that this ship's in here. Let's get into something a little bit bigger, though. I want to see something like the Gazanti or the GR75. The bottom cannons there. Now I just want to drop sonic charges everywhere. Bang. All right. Oh, wow. Okay. This is a lot bigger than... I mean, I guess it's accurate, but holy crap. Oh, that's the front. I wasn't even near the front. Holy shit. So this might actually be one of the problems with porting ships over to X4, is that suddenly you've got people like, you've got a scale. You've got human beings walking around and various aliens that are about the same silhouette size. So yeah, this could be that could be a thing. Like, that right there is the cargo container for one of the battleships, I believe. This is one of the larger freighter landing platforms. And I think this thing, if I'm not mistaken, let me go. It's to the front of this, mind you. That's the bridge. I wonder if we can actually go up there. I don't know yet. We just loaded in underneath, like on the platform where the ramp is. Let's run across. These actually aren't landing struts. I like that it's using them as such. Like, it's kind of looks like it's refueling, but these are actually supposed to be tubes for where you would you'd connect a TIE fighter. Or other fighters, if they're modified to be able to hook up like that, which is kind of cool. I wonder, probably not, but I wonder if you could pull it off, having your ships actually dock up in those positions instead of the normal drop-in positions. But there's the ramp inside. There's the hookup point. Let's go ahead and run to the back. I'm curious how much more space on this large docking area is there? And I don't actually remember off the top of my head if, like, X3 had docking rings, so you could have really big ships dock up with stuff. The battleships, the carriers, the M1s, the M2 classes. For this, though, it really does look like we might be pushing, like, there's still some space back here. You could probably get, what would be another ship about the A size? Maybe a Vindicator? Maybe in here? That's still, maybe not. That's still about 3 times the length of a Gazanti, I think. That's tight. That's big space. Look at those engines. Freaking cool, though. And this is early days yet, right? So he's just starting to port these over. Because, yeah, like the texture work and all that. It's good enough. It's good enough. Let's go ahead and run inside, though, and see what the bridge looks like. One of my favorite things about this particular version of the X series is that I don't have to be in the pilot seat or the captain's seat at all times. I can hire a crew. Oh, interesting. That's kind of a weird texture. It looks like he's used the interior of like a YT1300 texture and just repeated it a bunch of times to make this work. Whatever works to get it started, you know, to get a base Okay, little bridge crew spot. But you can hire a crew. You can get a captain sitting here, and you can have them do all the work for you, and you can kind of just like sit back and sit out and watch the battle going on while you sit there in your M menu and manage the rest of the fleet, or better yet, zooming out even farther, managing the Empire. Of course, this is a brand new save. We can't see any of the other sectors. The map is actually quite big, and it's getting an expansion. Anyways, let's go ahead and give this thing a spin. This would probably be the start that I would use. I don't know. It doesn't look like this one's actually finished. Before we do that, though, let's go update and repair ships. Let's just take a look at this thing. So, here is our Gazanti crew freighter. It's a freighter. I almost said cruiser, but it's definitely a freighter. In this, it's probably, yeah, it's considered M size, so I guess it'd be considered cruiser sized for X4. Let's see, we click on these engines. Now here's what's gonna get a little weird. Oh, those are actually engines from, yeah, you can see them kind of clipping through the model. They don't quite fit. He's done what he could to probably make them work. It's not bad. I mean, I bet if he modified the model and got rid of the intake here and just used the normal engines, it would probably be better. But very cool. Like, look at that. That actually looks, doesn't look half bad. Going for the Mark II combat variants. It looks really derpy when you do this with the ties. I don't think I can switch to other classes. Now, without being able to see one of the docks, though. Now, your weapon system, normally there'd be 2 turrets here on the sides. I don't see, oh, there they are. It does have a ion blaster forward firing. It's got 2 shield generators, which you can see right here. You can't actually see them unless you click them, I guess. Weird. They're empty. There are no shields on this ship. And then it has a turret spot that you can install in the back. All right, all right. And then another turret spot right back here. So I guess this would be the non-military variant. So it wouldn't have the cannons on the side. It'd have them on the top and bottom. Still very cool. Like, look at that. That actually, the cannon looks fantastic. I hope he does his own, either the remake of the effects or he makes his own weapons for this. Would be pretty cool. Seems like we don't have a lot in the way of weaponry, though. We can't really afford any of that. So let's go ahead and undock. Take the ship out. As we launch. Does it have landing gear? I think it does. I think it's those, yeah, those bits right here in the back are actually landing gear out of another vessel around the same size. Let's kick the engines on. See if we can fly this without more engine speed. Once we get out of station keeping, we should get an immediate acceleration. And there it is. Nice. Yeah, cockpits need a lot of work. That was what I was worried about, because it's just one guy doing this, right? It's one guy working on this project. So everything's going to take even more work, for every ship has to have a cockpit now to put them in here. I'm surprised he's even bothered to put in freighters yet. I know we had briefly chatted. He was talking about adding in just like a fighter pack, and that's kind of what this is. There's a Z-95 TIE Interceptor as well that we haven't actually looked at yet. Still, let me get another view of this. Very cool. Very cool. I haven't seen any custom decals yet. I don't think he's put those in, but I need my Rebel decals or my unit, like an Armco badge. Rebel decals put on there. Still very, very cool. I know there was a rumor going around for a little bit that they were working on a multiplayer update for this. I don't know if that's true or not, but I mean, could you imagine that, running around, being able to actually run around the inside of the ships? I mean, the dream would be having much larger interiors. Then, oh, I can't boost because I don't have a shield generator, so I don't have that extra power capacity. Seeing like a military variant of this thing, though, where you can actually dock up your ties in the bottom, Imperial style. That would be nice. That would be real cool. All right, here we go. This has got to be my favorite so far, right? Outside of maybe the A-Wing. So, Imperial Tie Interceptor. Let me get up in the front of it. It's a little tight to the front. It looks like it needs to be brought back a little bit. Like it's almost inside the wall there. And I wonder if that's going to be a problem for some of the longer other vessels. But TIE Interceptor, it's got its 4 wings. It looks like it's got its 4 cannons on there. I wonder if they actually work, which we'll, of course, go and find out. But yeah, I want to just kind of mass bulk buy these. I was real disappointed when I loaded up my my main save and I had the mod installed. And they all show up, by the way. Every ship that I've shown so far shows up on the shipyard. But I couldn't get any of them to actually build. And checking out like the resources for the station, they were building other ships. They were just ignoring my orders to build them. So I don't know. I think it's a save issue. At least that's what my research has shown so far. But let's go ahead, undock, kick on these ion engines. flip it around because we know we're that close, and kick on some engines. Give it a little throttle. Look how big this hangar bay is. So freaking cool. Oh man, that is so freaking cool. Looks like the back end, if I'm not mistaken. Let me try to land again. It looks like the back end actually opens or closes. I think I have to leave and come back in. I don't think they're gonna let me just like dock up right away. Make up your mind. Oh, that's a lot of speed. That was just with boost too. That wasn't with cruise mode. All right, we're gonna come back in. Actually, with that kind of speed, we might as well take it for a little bit of a ride. It's like immediate acceleration. It does have all 4 of its cannons too. I approve of this message. Let's go into speed mode. So kind of a light acceleration. Oh, no. Nope, that's fine. Oops. All right, let's try to land. I wanna see something. I wanna see if the back end actually is like folding open and close, because it looks like it was open. And he's actually got the model to open up. And you can see the little holographic projection of our tie. Nice. So there's only a few ship mods that are out right now for X4. There's one that looks really interesting that's like a battleship one that actually brings in ships from Rebirth. And that actually had some cool looking vessels. Let's see if it opens up. Looks like the ladder just immediately drops as soon as you go for docking. Yep, it does open. All right. So like the back end of the tie actually animates and opens up. Cool. I wonder if that means we'll see other animations like opening and closing X-Wing foils and all that. We haven't seen X-Wing yet. Closest thing we got is a Z95. But all right, ladies and gents, that's gonna wrap up this kind of quick look. Let me get up out of my chair and take a walk out here of the 0.1 version. I hope that I do many videos on this as it continues to develop, because honestly, we don't have enough good Star Wars games out there. Like, just flat out, we don't have them. And so the modding community is really picking up the slack on that and giving us all kinds of gaming experiences that we're not gonna get any other way. Whether it's a strategy game like Empire War Remake, or Awakening of the Rebellion, or Thrawn's Revenge, or if you want your sci-fi kind of open sandbox game, well, you're gonna have to look at the X series, and maybe even Avorian's got some great stuff made by the community. So thank you for mod authors. Thank you to the community members who've been adding your creativity to make really cool stuff that we get to play as Star Wars fans. I do appreciate it, and I know a lot of the community does. So, all right, everybody. Let me know in the comments, what ship do you want to see most in here? I know Mikhail has a ton of ships in his library, and maybe he'll see some of those suggestions and get those in there for you, so you have it on that first release. We did talk briefly, and I think he's gonna do like a small, like a little package release, so you guys have extra ships to play around with once they are fully functioning and working and stuff. This feels pretty usable, by the way. I mean, these are just light fighters, just like they're already in the game, and it looks like it has most of the upgrades options. I think the only issue really is how you're gonna deal with upgrades that kind of clip, like the engines on the back of this thing. Speaking of which, I didn't actually show y'all upgrade and repair dock ships. Like, the other ship was kind of okay, but this one, you try to stick on engines to it, and that's what you get. You gotta have an invisible Mark I engine all around her if you want it to be even half decent. Like the weapon systems it doesn't even give you the option. So maybe we'll see some weapon upgrades that are just kind of invisible for the Star Wars models particularly, because you see that's an issue right there. Or maybe he'll make a couple of different looking small ones that actually fit with these. Who knows? Who knows? Because they're custom models, it's probably gonna be a little hard. All right, everybody. I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. Bye, guys.